All right, it's caught up. Check to see if we have audio. All right, it's caught up. And we do. All righty, excellent. Alrighty, it is 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, and that means it's live from Cabot, Arkansas. This is Answering Your Financial Questions with Coach Steve Money. For other financial content, scroll down youtube.com/Coach Steve Money and then scroll down. Answering Your Financial Questions playlist right there. Today is number 118 of those. And the Ramsey Show After Show, the last one I did was what, number 385 of those. So plenty of previous financial content. And the music playlist includes 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including the most recent one, How to Do the Baby Steps Right. So that's pretty cool song. 3 of those songs of those 11 are specifically about the baby steps. The other ones, most of them are about the personalities. So give those a chance. Give those a listen if you are so inclined. Alrighty. Time is mine. Should I get a... Oh, we're on reddit.com/ I'll almost get ready to say Coach Steve Money. There's no Coach Steve Money. That's true. At least I'm not aware there is one. Maybe trolls have made one. I don't know. Reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. I don't think I have a subreddit yet. I'll check after the show. Interesting. So this is not run by this subreddit, not run by Ramsey Solutions. It's run by fans, but if you want a group that's run by Ramsey Solutions, that would be the Facebook group called the Ramsey Baby Steps Community. And if it's named anything other than that, it's not run by Ramsey Solutions. Alrighty, time is mine. Should I get a loan to pay off cards? The answer is no. Why would you get a loan that you didn't have to pay off credit cards when you could just pay off the credit cards? Getting the loan, doing consolidation loans, that kind of thing, that just makes you think you've done something when you haven't done crap. So you need to just pay them off. Let's see what the justification is here. Try asking others, but want to get outsider thoughts on this. Outside of his friend group, maybe? I don't know. I'm sitting about 20K in credit card debt. Okay, bad. Pay it off. It's all piled up from some OS moments to being laid off and me having bad habits. My bad habits lead to you. I make good money, but there are quite a few credit cards eating up my snowball abilities. Yep, so you got to pay it off. That's why that's baby step 2, so that you pay that off. I have 1 kid in daycare, 2 that will help that will also eat up your snowball abilities. 2 vehicle payments that will also eat up your snowball abilities. Sell one or both of them. Spouse in mind, yeah, sell one or both of them and move down in car. Use 1 car if you can. It's just for a hashtag season. It might be inconvenient, but tough. You're trying to get out of debt. So it all depends on how bad you want to get rid of the debt. And that should be all done with next year. Maybe within the next year is what they meant. I want to get out of debt by next year. Well, then you make it happen. And you don't do that by getting a loan to pay out the credit cards. And can afford to pay it all off in 12 to 15 months. Do it faster than that. If I didn't have all these different nickel and dime payments coming out, Well, the ones that you described are not nickel and dime. And again, you take care of the vehicle payments by selling those vehicles. And therefore, that pays them off, even if you have to take out a smaller loan to get rid of the larger car loan to pay the difference if you cannot sell it for what you still owe on it. If both spouses are working, both of their incomes has to be worth it to have the child in daycare. If they are making not that much more than it costs for daycare, then that's a waste of time and resources. And the parent should stay home with the kid instead of having the kid in daycare. And then when the other spouse is home, then that spouse can work or do something else, can do something at night to make money. So, and that would be a net positive change there. Nickel and dime payments out, and you're the one that's allowing it to happen. I mean, I understand if it's an emergency situation or something like that, but some of the things that people say, oh, well, these are nickel and dime payments coming out. Those are your choice. You're choosing to do that, especially if you're choosing to still eat out and stuff like that. And if you're spending too much money on food, my question would be it be a good idea to pull a $20K loan, pay everything off, consolidate my debt? Consolidate. It makes you think you've done something, and then you're just going to run up debt again. In one payment, and just pay. You don't need it into just one payment. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. People always try to look for the quick answer, and again, this is the wrong answer because it makes you think that you have done something and you haven't done anything except get it all into one place. And just pay it off in a year? Or should it continue to snowball? You continue to snowball, you sell those two cars, at least one of them, and you do a freaking budget and you stick to it, and then there's no nickel and dime payments. If it's not a necessity, you don't spend money on it. So I'm interested to see if there will be any specifications on what the problem is. I continue to snowball and avalanche my accounts, and we don't avalanche it. We snowball it. If again you're doing it wrong, you're doing it your own way. If you're doing the debt avalanche instead, which is the highest interest. But that can be the highest amount, and that can take you longer to pay off the first one, and then you lose motivation with the smallest to largest. The average human receives motivation from that, from paying those smaller debts off faster. Hope in the hope to have it all paid off. It's not the hope. You do it. So quit being a wuss with this. With the 20% plus rates, I'm not sure if this is possible. Yeah, it is. You stop your dumb, stupid spending. You sell those cars, and see, that's what he's not thinking about. He's not thinking about that at all. He just wants to pay it off. Now, the way to pay it off is you get rid of the things. Get rid of the cars that you're paying on, and then that significantly increases your snowball amount because you're not paying on that dumb crap anymore. Also, are there any loans? No HELOC I should be targeting? None of them. No loans. Baby step 0. Part of baby step 0 is where you decide you're not using debt for anything anymore, and you're going to pay off the stupid debt you already have. I don't want to close the accounts. Just want to consolidate and keep my current line of credits open for credit building. We don't care about that either. So, I mean, person wants to do their own thing, and that's fine. But I don't know if you heard, Dave is the new no debt guy. And so you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. So I don't know exactly what it is that you want, except maybe somebody to tell you that what you're thinking is a good idea, but it's not. Cherry Top, Bing, 25. While only 20-year term life insurance policy in his Total Money Makeover book, Ramsey recommends a 20-year life insurance policy of 10 to 12 times your annual salary. Correct. I don't remember saying only 20 though. If they offer a 30, you can get that. Wondering why this is only for 20 years. I'm in my 20s, so this would have it end by my 40s. I don't recall it saying that, but if it does, one possible reason is that if you have been out of debt for 20 years and building wealth, then maybe by 20 years you would be self-insured. That means you have enough money in investments and your bank account to take care of that. Basically, you have a year's salary already in the bank and so forth, and more than that even. So, but if they offer a 30 and you would rather get a 30, go ahead. Dave is obviously self-insurable, but he has a life insurance policy on him because SWI Sharon wants it. That's his wife, and she would rather have that than more jewelry or something like that. He often talks about that. And so because she wants it, and so that's why he still has life insurance on him when he does not need it. Everybody in his family would be fine, absolutely fine, without any life insurance. So the reason you need life insurance is if you have any dependent upon your income. And that's why it's 10 to 12 times, because that is the average gain in the market if that money is invested. So it's 10 to 12 times your annual salary, and you put that in the market, and the SP 500 does 10 to 12 average per year. And so that basically generates your amount of income every single year on average. But yeah, if they offer longer term, you can get a longer term. Sarah here now. How much should you invest per month? How much should you invest if you're 38 and have no investments? It doesn't change. And that's the beauty of the Ramsey advice. It does not change. So, investing is step 4 right here. Invest 15% of your household income into retirement. But you do not do that if you do not have $1,000 liquid for your starter emergency fund. And you do not do that if you have any type of debt at all except for a mortgage. If you have a mortgage and no other debt, then that's fine. You don't have to do step 2. So then you're on step 3, and that's 3 to 6 months of expenses and a fully funded emergency fund. And you also need to have that done before you do any investing. So if you're on steps 1, 2, or 3, it's 0% investing. And then it's 15% as long as you have a mortgage. The only time you would invest more than 15% of your gross household income would be if you are in step 7, and on step 7 on the build wealth and give portion of your life, you can invest however much you would like. So, and this advice applies to everybody. This is not for one person's specific situation. So, and that's the beauty of it, that it's not individualized because it works for everybody. So it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're 38 and you don't have any investments, that's rough. I didn't have any at 38 either. So I didn't start investing until later than that. And so it doesn't matter. So you get your financial life settled by doing the baby steps in order, steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time, and no doing higher steps. So like the How to Do the Baby Steps Right song says, you don't even think about higher steps. You just do these one at a time without doing a higher step. That one done, check. Move on to step 2, then get that done, check. Then step 3, save 3 to 6 months of expenses, fully funded emergency fund. Now, once that's done, then here's where you save for a house if you want to do that. Step 3B. It's not on there, but that's where you do that. And then step 4 for investing. Steps 4, 5, and 6 you do all at the same time if it applies. Now, if you don't have children and if you don't have a mortgage, congratulations. Once you start investing 15%, you're in step 7. Great. And then you can invest whatever you want. But if you are thinking about buying a home, you should probably save down payment instead of putting all your money into a retirement account. Alrighty, Francisco de Aconia. Do pre-tax deductions lower your student loan payment calculation? Does maxing out health savings account deferred comp lower your student loan payment calculation? I don't know how they use that. I don't know how they do that. I don't know if it is based on gross income or lower, but it doesn't matter because you should be paying it off as fast as possible, or better yet, you don't even have one. Better yet, you don't take out any ever. And so, but as far as how that actually works, I do not know if they use gross or take-home pay on that, because of course take-home pay, it would be without that amount in there. Contest interesting 21. All right, or is that contest, which means you have an argument on it. Blue, come on, there we go. Question on baby step 3 emergency fund. Well, great. Well, let's go ahead and read that and see if the words here answer the question. Let's see. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. Okay. Let's go back to the question. Hi all, we're baby step 3 and our emergency fund goal is $18,000. We have $2,000 saved and can put away about $2,000 per month. I also have $50,000 in a Roth IRA among other investments. You're doing it wrong. Now, maybe they were doing their financial lives before they ever heard of Dave Ramsey. And so that's great. And if you can get that, it doesn't sound like you can get that done very quickly. So you should stop investing while you get that full emergency fund happening. If you were only going to get it, 2 or 3 months and you would have the emergency fund done, I would say fine, don't stop investing. But you would stop investing while you're doing step 3 because it's going to take you too long. You can only have a $2,000 snowball. Where in the world is all your income going? Into investing? Hope not. Does Dave suggest staying the course and cash flowing this or selling some of the Roth assets to get past baby step 3? No, you do not tap retirement ever. If it's already in there, it's a locked box. You do not do that. You do not do that. Even if it's just contributions, which you can take out, you do not do that. If it's in a retirement account, you do not do that. If you have a brokerage account and you're just doing non-tax advantage investing, then at that point you should take that out. And any single stocks, he would recommend to sell if they are in that. What up, Aslin? Thanks for dropping by and commenting in the chat. Very nice of you. So good to see you at all times. I can't think of a time where it was not nice to see you. So you should pause the retirement investing and take a look at your budget again, because $2,000 per month, that's not a lot. I mean, depending on income and expenses and all that, but I would take a look at the budget again and see what's going on with that. But yeah, since it's going to take you $2,000 saved, and so they need 16 more. That's 8 months. Yeah, I would pause the and then you can get that done faster than 8 months, and then resume the investing. But I would stop investing for a little while. What would that be, like 4 or 5 months, something like that? Oopsie days. Yeah, that's not Daisy. Daisy is DASIE or EY, Depends on how you want to spell it for the saying, but anyway, oopsie days, investments. What is everyone investing in? I always hear Vanguard is safe. I know nothing. That much is certain. Okay, Vanguard is a brokerage, and that is just where the account sits. So what you're actually invested in is not the brokerage name. It's not the account type either. Like, yes, somebody, what they're invested in, they say my 401k. That's not what you're invested in either. The Vanguard would be the brokerage. Another is Fidelity. There's tons of other ones, and they're almost all fine. If you've heard of the name before. And then there's the account types. You got for retirement, you've got Roth IRA and 401k and so forth. But none of that is an investment. So if you open up a Roth IRA account and you send money from your bank account to the Roth IRA account, guess what? That doesn't do anything except get a little bit of interest. From there, you actually have to use that money within the account to buy managed mutual funds, which is Dave's advice for retirement. You have to buy the mutual funds, and the actual mutual funds is what you would be invested in. So definitely know nothing. All you got to do is Google. All of this information is on the internet. Since you know nothing, I would start with actually going on YouTube and typing in Dave Ramsey investing, and then you ignore all the ones. There will be ones from other people criticizing his advice, but you just skip those and just listen to all the ones where he's talking about it. They're highlights from the show, and you just learn everything that he tells you in those. And then you'll know way more than nothing. But yeah, a lot of people make that mistake. They just think, I'm invested in Vanguard, and they think that means something. No, that's just the place. Like, for example, that doesn't if you tell me you went to Walmart, that doesn't tell me what you bought while you were there. So that is what a lot of people do, make that mistake, though. Or they say the account type when they say what they're invested in, and they have no idea what it's actually invested in, if anything. And people have made that mistake before, where they send the money to the account and then they wonder why it's not growing by 10%. It's in like 1% or 0.5% usually, if you just leave it in just like that without buying any investments. 8888098. Advice on building wealth and minimizing debt through investments as a high school senior. That would be a negatory good buddy on that. The advice for young adults, kids and young adults, is that you just pile up cash for life expenses and college until you graduate college debt free. A lot of people do like to jump the gun because they look at that investment calculator and they see all the growth that can happen, and it certainly can. But the problem is, if you are going to need a car or something like that, and you have all of your money in a retirement account, then you're locked in there basically, because you have to pay on gains. And also, there's a penalty for taking it out before you are retirement age. So let's see what the 17-year-old wants to say. Yeah, they love to jump the gun on this. Everybody likes to do that, and some people like to advise people to do that. Mr. Ramsey is not one of them. You just pile up cash until you get out of college or trade school, debt free, and you move out of your parents' house and you have your first big boy or big girl job, and then that is the moment you would start investing. Boom, boom, boom. Betty Ann says, does a charge off get any more fees added? It can. It depends on the what you signed. Like if it's a bank account, if it's in the schedule of fees that you got, they could have a charge off fee as well. So, and when you took out that account, you did sign for it. And so, regardless of whether you remember it or not, which most people don't, most people just sign it without reading it, but that's in there. And so it just depends on that. So it doesn't necessarily mean there will be more charges, but there easily could be. So it depends on the institution where you have that account, Betty Ann. Yep, I also, in addition to doing these, I also answered questions from the chat. Where were we? 17 years old and plan on investing $20 daily. All right. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get that's correct math there, because the sooner you do it, if you get paid $20 a day and you put it in every day, then you're not missing the next day's growth opportunity. And so I get that. So definitely doing the math here, and that is fabulous. If you go from 17 to 67, I mean, that's 50 years in the market. And so I understand wanting to do that. That's not the advice, though, because what if you do need money for a car or to move out of your parents' house, which Dave also recommends for adults. So for you, that would be when you're 18, sir. Coming up very soon. So you need money for that instead of putting it into a retirement account. Now, if it's a brokerage account, again, that is not advised either. Anything in a brokerage account would have to be in there for 5 years before you would need it. And at 17, your life's still too volatile, being not a set pattern yet, because you still have to, again, move out. You don't know if you'll be moving to another area for work. It's possible once you get out of college. And so all that is in flux. And so that's why Dave likes to have that cash liquid. You can put in a high yield savings account for sure. So, yep, everybody loves to use the index fund for the S&P 500 for investing. Leave money on the table by not using managed funds that make more, and want to know if it's a good idea. Granted, I make approximately $320 weekly with no expenses other than gas, which is roughly $30 a week, and can be subsidized by my parents if asked. Yeah, I mean, you're so close to being an adult. It's time to start being an adult and not have anything subsidized by the parents. Should I stick to SPY, split it into $10 SPY and $10 VIEW daily, another index fund, or alternatively some other ETFs? Or another thing is to not do that at all, and you just save up cash so that you get through college debt-free. I'm not too educated on the stock market and want to get the general estimate on the ROI, return on investment, by the time I finish college, at the very least 5 years roughly. Okay, and also invested $30 in some other stocks in healthcare, military, oil, and IPOs. Not recommended by Dave in any circumstance. Single stocks. If you'd like a particular stock, you can get a mutual fund that has that one in there among others. An initial public offering. So basically, initial public offering, basically trying to get Apple the first day it was available, in which all those people did make tons and tons of money. Certainly. But again, that's not advised. But I'm considering adding more. Also, the returns if the returns are high enough, should I use some of it to help pay off my student loans debt? Okay, so I didn't know you had debt already, so no, you're being stupid now. And the what would Dave do flare here you should know Dave is the no debt guy. And so here, let me run you through this. Again, this applies to 17-year-old high school students as well. Maybe he's already in college if he already has student loan debts. Or maybe, what is it? He could be just starting college right now. Okay. And so took out student loan debts already. And so step 2 says pay off all debt except the house. And you don't invest before that. You have your $1,000 emergency fund. And then you pay off all of your debt and you don't take out any more, which is why you freaking save that money instead of investing it. So you're doing it wrong. And what that's called, keeping this debt around while you invest money, that is what we call debt leverage. And that is not advisor. There it is. Not advisor. Good luck to you, but you're doing it wrong. No student loans. I don't know if you've heard. Again, Dave Ramsey, the no debt guy. So don't know what's going on there. Pristine Isopod, $29.88. Upgrading home or baby step 7. That would be baby step 7, sir. Pretty much what the title says. Some background, 35, married with 1 child with 0 debt outside of the remainder of current mortgage. Wife and I have a mortgage that'll be paid off by the end of 2024. Excellent. My wife and I went very conservative on the home. We attacked the principal with a vengeance. Great. So that we could be completely debt-free with the goal to max out retirement accounts beginning in late 2025. Unfortunately, we went too conservative and compromised, I guess, on the type of home we want and can truly afford. We bought our current home just 1 year ago. We are now having serious conversation about growing our family. Currently have an 18-month-year-old. Yeah, you don't need a bigger house for your 18-month-old. That's all you have, regardless of if you're thinking about having more children. Doesn't matter. Okay, always in motion is the future. We do not know. You do not need a bigger house now for a larger family in the future. You can get that later. So you stay the path, you pay that off, and then you'll be in baby step 7. And then if you decide later when the situation warrants it, to upgrade in home, you can, because you can just sell the house that is completely paid off, and all of that is equity, and you can apply all of that to a new house. So just people always want to do stuff way too early. They just want it now. You're only thinking about it. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. You do not need a bigger house. People always think they do need bigger house. And, I mean, you know, did you have 1 child? When you had 1 child, did you run out and get a SUV? So it would be safer, and then also for growing family, so you can fit all 3 of your kids, 2 of which don't exist yet, into it. Did you do that too? Because that would be as equally dumb as buying a new house for kids that don't exist. Alrighty. Pure Zucchini Rage. How about, well, zucchini. I wouldn't get that mad about a zucchini. How behind am I, and how badly would Dave yell at me if he found out about my situation? I mean, if you call, he would find out about it and probably yell at you. But like in general, just the average person, you know, I mean, I'm sure he's accepted reality that most people are going to be doing it wrong and not following his advice. So it's the people that call that he assumes might have heard of him and heard him talk for longer than 5 minutes. And then if he's talked longer than 5 minutes, you probably know that he's the no debt guy. And so if you have debt, and if you're doing anything other than paying it off as quickly as you can, then you're doing it wrong. And then he would get mad, I guess, maybe. I don't know. That's just a guess. Mr. Ramsey is in Turkey this past week. Dave-cation, that's one of the songs in the music playlist. Dave-cation certainly deserves it. But that song is mostly about the other personalities. About to be 31, and as of now, I have $4.5 thousand in my Roth IRA, 18K, 401K from old job, $311, excuse me, in my savings account, and 3.5K in my bank account. I did open up a high yield savings account recently, so I'll be putting little amounts in that account soon. I got laid off beginning of the year, and I was on UI, unemployed insurance, for a bit, but I've been working again. Okay, I haven't been working permanent jobs though, just temp work, but a job is a job, so I don't care. Fine. Just happy to be working in. My car is paid off. All my credit cards are paid off, and I just paid off 5K in braces, dental work. I do still have around 8.K3 in student loans, but they're all in forbearance. That would be THEY apostrophe RE, not there. THERE is there a place? Not they are, but they are all in forbearance. You would be paying all that off as well. Those are still your loans. You would pay those off. So if they're in collections, you can try to settle for less than that amount, but you would pay that off. But 31, I mean, as far as the, I mean, there's no need to be, you don't be concerned about, okay? So if you want to take the Ramsey advice, you're not concerned about how much you have in the retirement accounts yet, or in savings or anything else, because you're supposed to just have $1,000 while you pay off all your debt, and that is what you should be concerned about at this point. Everybody loves to jump all ahead and try to figure out, oh, well, am I behind? Am I behind or not? If you are, it's because you had dumb loans, because you took out a car loan, because you did credit cards. And you had braces, dental work. I mean, that you got to do. And so, but you did pay it off. So that's great. But you still have that 8.3K in student loans. So that's still your money to pay off. Let's see. Sarah here now again. When you buying a house, all right. Maybe English, not first language. What did she say just recently? How much should you invest per month? How much should you invest if you're 38? Okay. All right. Maybe English, not the first language for Sarah. When you buy a house, that would be, again, baby steps. The answer's always in the baby steps. Almost always for people. They just don't want it to be. They want it to be some special answer for them. After you do steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time in order without doing a higher step, meaning until you have this $1,000, you do not pay anything except minimums on debt. And you do not add to that $1,000 for step 3 until after all the debt is gone. So there's no saving beyond the $1,000. And so then once you do get the full emergency fund, then step 3B, which goes right in here, that is your saving for a down payment for a house. So that is how that works. Is it a good idea to put into your kid's name, they're a toddler and will inherit it all? Okay. Hopefully they don't inherit your English skills. But no, you do not do that. You keep it in your name, and then you can will it to them. And it should be paid off by that time too, so they don't have to make payments on it as well. Commercial ad 5161. I guess I'll do baby step 2 finally. Okay, well, don't make us force you. I mean, it's the best thing to do for sure, but let's see, I guess I'll do baby step 2 finally. I posted in the past and received a variety of feedback. This is an ongoing journey, so I'm still working on it all. It's generally not as precious as people like to make it seem. I mean, you're so involved and so indebted in, and so embedded in your own situation that you like, people like try to romanticize it and stuff like that. It's not. It's you've done debt and that was stupid and now you got to fix it. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not some kind of deep thing, and it doesn't matter why you took out the debt. That has nothing to do with it. The debt is the reality, and so the why doesn't have anything to do with it. Now that adds some color for like when they take calls on the air. It does help the call sometimes if they give backstory, and then people can judge whether they should have taken out debt for it or not. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's debt. You have the debt, and the idea is to pay off all debt and not take out any more ever. Ongoing journey, still working on it all. That being said, baby step 3 is in sight. What? I have 7,000 student loans and 6,000 in savings. Okay, yeah. So you would take out that six. You would take out 5,000 of that, leaving 1,000 for your starter emergency fund, and put that on there, and then it would be 2,000 left on that. Paid off nearly $15,000 in debt in the past couple of years. Great. So I've been sitting around collecting savings. Great. I don't make much money. How did the $6,000 get in there though? They got in there somehow instead of being put to debt. So you're doing it wrong. I don't make much money when you consider how expensive everything is. Justification station. Justification station. Quit whining. Work more. Spend less. Pay off the debt. About $1,000 to $1,500 bi-weekly. My rent payment is about $1,100. So there's over 50% of my income. Look for a cheaper house or work more. Better yet, work more. Work more. Work more. I don't mind living in a dump, but my lady has standards. Is she working? Are you married? Moving somewhere cheaper is not an option, even though I'd love to. It can be. It should be. I'm just going to grin and bear it. Okay. So let's move on from that. Didn't have to bring it up if you didn't want to even talk about it. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay. Again, this is he wants people to comment on his thing, but then he doesn't want you to say, because it's not an option. So let's move on from that. So don't say that, but I'm sure people did that anyway in the 65 income, because that's the first thing I would do. I would say move somewhere cheaper, even though he said it's not an option. I would not move on from that. We're going on vacation in about a week. See, again, that's no. So you're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're doing what you want to do, and that's fine. It's your life and your money. Go ahead, do what you want to do. But there's no vacation. There's no travel in baby step 2. You're doing it wrong. KK65121 seeking advice. Hello. Hi, guys. Looking for some advice on my husband and I's car situation. Some background on our finances. I make $42,000 and husband makes around $60,000 to $70,000. Graduated with no student loans. Excellent. And we just purchased our first home, owing $155,000. Husband has a 2023 Elantra that he owes $28,000 on, so you're doing it wrong. No car loans, no loans on anything except that mortgage. Mortgage is fine. We'll not yell at you for the mortgage, but everything else, yelling, no loans. Have you heard of Mr. Ramsey? Again, he's the no debt guy. I have a 2013 Elantra. We owe nothing on. My husband is a babe to start doing home inspections as a side hustle to bring in more income. As we just found out, we're expecting a baby in February. Before this, I was planning to purchase a newer vehicle, $18,000, most likely SUV, for more space for the baby. One baby does not require an SUV. People are nutty with their spending over babies. The baby will fit in a compact car. You can put a car seat in a compact car back seat. Trust me, I know. I have 2 children that are still alive. Imagine that. Before this, I was planning to purchase a newer vehicle. Oh, I did that already. SUV for more space. Think, oh, I'm doing something good for my baby. Because my car has had a plethora of issues in the past month. I have $9,000 in savings. So you're doing it wrong. You guys are doing it wrong. I would suggest baby steps in order. You're not doing any of it wrong, and you want to spend money. And when you have step 2 debt, when you have consumer debt like you do, you're not buying new cars. You're not upgrading a car. That's a no. Unless, of course, you just like to do what you want to do, but you wanted advice. So the Dave Ramsey advice is right here. And did you even look at it? Did you even look at the baby steps? Or, a lot of people think that they're an exception, or especially, well, I'm going to have a baby, and so I got to have an SUV. So it doesn't matter what the baby step says, and that's your decision to make. So knock yourself out. You can do whatever you want with your life and your money. You're the one that has to live the life and deal with the repercussions. But that is not the best financial advice, and you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. So shouldn't be a shocker to you. Where do y'all park your emergency fund? High yield savings account options. All right, roughly 12K sitting in a 0.7% savings account. So the beauty about the 0.7% savings account is that the money is immediately accessible through debit card or through check writing. Now, you can put it in a high yield savings account, but guess what? You have to have debit card or check writing privileges on that, because emergencies do not wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer. Now, do they? Think back to the last emergency you had. Would it have waited 1 to 3 days for you before happening in order for you to transfer that money? The answer is no, it wouldn't. Emergency fund just sits there, and that's what it's supposed to do. That it's called an emergency fund. Best case scenario, you never ever need it ever. It just sits there forever, and that money stays there till you die, and then you can somebody will inherit it. Okay, so that is the best case scenario, that nothing is done with that money ever except being inherited. That is the best thing. Now, again, you can put in a high yield savings account. You just have to have immediate access to it. I'm looking to transfer this to a high yield savings account. Anyone have any opinions on the best option? Ally 4.2%. I'm leaning there, but I'd love to hear what y'all do. Cheers. I don't have it in a high yield savings account. I just have 3 months single, no dependents, no job or life drama, and so I just have it in a checking account. So I haven't bothered to put it in a high yield, or to even look for a high yield with that has immediate access, but that's what you would need in order to put the emergency fund there. So yeah, everybody likes to try to get every single last cent extra, and I get that, but you have to be realistic about, if it's your emergency fund, you need to have access to it immediately. New accident. What up, Maddie Bags? What up, Maddie Bags? Hashtag mention. That's in the Baby Step In song. New accident, 8379, $45,000 in debt, paid off. Anyone else face something similar? Yes, I've had debt too. How long did it take you to pay it off? I need motivation. All right. My ex-wife and I had $72,000 in debt, and we paid that off in 3 years. So hopefully, motivation And the motivation for me was to not have debt anymore. And that was motivation for me. I mean, granted, I watched debt-free streams and all that, watched the show during that time, listened to the show on the radio. I did all that, but as far as motivation, I just needed to know that the debt was being gone. And then after that, I wouldn't take out anymore. No, maybe 1897 beginner here seeking advice about baby step 1. Alrighty. And shall we guess? Let's see. $1,000 not enough. Let's see if I'm right. Hello, everyone. I just graduated and took the bye. I'm getting ready to start my job in a couple weeks. Excellent. Well, does taking the bar mean you passed it too? Hopefully. Not easy, I hear. I have about $100,000 in debt. $100,000 in debt with $5,000 on a credit card. About to make $135,000 starting out after taxes. Great. Just worried about that $1,000 start emergency fund. Is it okay to use my credit card as a backup to my $1,000 emergency fund? No, you pay off the credit card immediately. And you cut it up, and you do not ever use a credit card again. No, you don't have a backup to your $1,000 emergency fund. Your $1,000 emergency fund is enough. That's all you have while you're paying off that student loan debt, assuming all that student loan debt, that $100,000. I'm worried that $1,000 might not be enough. It's not supposed to be enough. It wasn't enough 30 years ago, says Mr. Ramsey. So that's not the idea of it. The idea is so that you don't go out and get a credit card to put something less than $1,000 on, and then you'll run that back up again. So that's the idea on that. It's not supposed to take care of a $5,000 emergency because it's only $1,000. It's not supposed to take care of everything. And then I'll be out of luck. You're more out of luck. You don't have it now. You don't have it now. See, and this is the beautiful thing about the emergency fund arguments, because most people I find that are arguing that $1,000 is not enough, they don't even have $1,000 now as an emergency fund, and yet they're going to argue about it not being enough. That is the stupidest thing I've ever been a part of, I think. Except for some of my own romantic entanglings. Those are pretty stupid too. I'm worried that $1,000 might not be enough. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks, everyone. And I know about 2 years down the road, I'll be able to say I'm debt free. Absolutely. And so what the dealio is, how you pay that $100,000 off is you don't pretend that you pretend you're not making $135,000 and have lifestyle creep. You live like a broke law school student still until you get all that debt paid off and the full emergency fund built. Then you'll have your full emergency fund, and then you can upgrade your life a little bit after that, because you'll be in step 4. And so, but on steps 1, 2, and 3, no, you continue to live like a broke law school student. Assuming that law school student was, I guess, living on $5,000 on a credit card, but not totally living off a credit card, or it'd be more than that. Lone Wolf, 1995_666. Am I wrong for living out of my car? I mean, you do what you gotta do. Singer Jewel famously lived out of her car for a while. You were meant for me, and I was meant for you. So she did. Who else? Comedian Annie Letterman did it as well. Lived out of her car for a while. So, you know, you do what you can do. I mean, that's not the best case, obviously. Let's see. I got, hi guys. So I'm on baby step number 2. I have a bunch of debt that I need to pay down. And to me, it makes the most sense to just live out of my car. That is extreme. Rather than $1,500 a month in rent each month, I have about $30,000 in debt. And to me, this seems like the fastest way to pay it down. To clarify, I do not have any kids or anything like that. It's just myself. I don't live in a dangerous city, so I'm pretty safe. However, a lot of my family members and friends tell me that it's a really bad idea. What do you guys think? That's extreme, and I don't know. That's really extreme. I don't know that you have to go that extreme based on your situation. And I also don't know that Dave would ever recommend that. So, I mean, get like the cheapest place you can get. So, I mean, there's no places to rent in your city that's cheaper than $1,500. So I would challenge you on that. People love to nitpick the facts to support their argument. There's no places to rent for less than $1,500 in your city. You know, they just this like is like a lot of people do. They exaggerate to make their point, and instead of making the point, it just takes away from it because it's ridiculous. Now, I will say that in certain cities, if this is New York City, but she said it's not a dangerous city. But at least if it's New York City, you know, maybe there's not one. But you could at least rent a room out of a house or something like that. And so I would look at that before living in my car. Appreciate the wanting to pay the debt off faster. Appreciate that. But that might be a little too extreme. And I don't know that Dave would ever recommend that. What up, Jules? Aslan says $1,000 is not enough for an emergency fund. It's not supposed to be enough, but it is good for the normal small emergency idea to pay off everything fast. Yep, and then fund your big emergency fund. The 3 to 6 months, correct. Not sure I would go with living out of a car. Yeah, it's extreme. Get with a few roommates so you have a place to cook food and get a shower. Yeah, rent a room instead. So, but he went with the $1,500 so that we would just be boxed in with that and say, oh, it's $1,500 or car. You know, people often say, should I do A or B? And the answer is C, D, or E. On the show, a lot of times Dave comes up with other ideas for them instead of should I just do this and this. People do box themselves in all the time with that. Where should I? No, that's not what I wanted to do. Where to store my emergency fund? Emergency fund of $20K in a money market account at my bank. The interest rate is variable and currently at 1.9%, which is pretty low. Yeah, it's not as low as a high yield savings account, but again, you can put in a high yield savings account, but you do have to have immediate access to it. I'm considering using Vanguard and investing the money in a long-term fund, and I'm guessing Vanguard does not give you immediate access to it, so that's a no, because again, emergencies do not wait 1 to 3 days for a transfer. But I basically have no knowledge about it and never done it before. Is it a good idea? No, and you have to have immediate access to your emergency fund. Will I be able to get my money quickly if an emergency happens? Probably not. Not at a brokerage. Generally not, but you can check, read all the fine print, see if they offer a debit card for that account. And so if you got a debit account or check writing privileges on that, and they'll send you checks, then that's fine. That's immediate access to it, and so that is absolutely fine. But otherwise, it's a 1 to 3 day transfer, and emergencies don't wait that long. I'm on baby step 6 and I have a pretty decent cash flow. each month, so I could handle most situations myself without needing the emergency fund. Still, that's not the dealio. So, and don't think about, well, I'll put this money into a high yield savings account, and then I'll have an extra emergency fund. You're not supposed to have anything extra beyond the emergency fund while you're still paying off that house on step 6. And then after step 6, then you can put your money wherever you want, except the emergency fund still has to be immediately accessible. But extra money, then you could save up longer. You could have a 12-month emergency fund if you want, like some people like to have, but the maximum is 6 months while you are still paying off your mortgage, per Mr. Ramsey. Poopy Kitty, should we pay off our mortgage or put the money in high yield savings account? And again, okay, so not paying off your mortgage and having more than 6 months emergency fund savings in the high yield savings account, that is debt leverage. You're keeping around the mortgage like it's a pet. That's debt leverage. And that's not what Dave recommends. So that is a no on that. So none of this stuff matters. Let's read it anyway. Why not? We have enough saved to pay off our mortgage, and it's so tempting to write that check and be done with it. Yes, absolutely. However, I want to make sure it's the best plan. Yes, it is. Let's check baby steps just in case. Kid Collins, pay off your home early. I don't see pay off your home early unless you want to put money into a high yield savings account. It does not say that right there. It does not say that. Oh, goodness, people. We owe 178K on how do you even have the money separate in the first place? You're doing it wrong. But not familiar with the baby steps, maybe? Or you just glanced at them and thought, well, that's not for me. I'll just ask on Reddit. 42 and can't bear the thought of being 70 when my house is paid off. Yeah. So then pay it off. What in the world? My husband suggested putting them... Oh, men's. Am I right? Always trying to come in with suggestions. In a high yield savings account and paying the mortgage out of that account with us depositing the amount of the escrow into that account each month, approximately $400. Understand at the end of the day we may have an extra $3K in our pockets, but is that worth having the mortgage hang over our heads for almost 30 more years? No, it's not. That is stupid. Even your spouse can come up with stupid advice or stupid suggestions every now and then. That can happen. Now, you don't have to call it stupid, but just say you want the mortgage gone. And then you can compromise on that if you have to, or maybe the husband will just say, oh, okay, since you really want it, we can do that then. Or would lifting that weight be worth more? For you, it's not a question. And just because he suggested it doesn't mean it's a good idea, and it's not. Huntington's offered a variable rate, something or another. Let's see. Well, if that'll load. Come on. 500 megabit per second internet, and okay. I guess it was just a problem with the Reddit. Let's see. Lifting that weight be worth more? Yes, it would be worth more. Huntington is offering variable rate savings account, but that doesn't sound good to me. Wouldn't a fixed rate be better? It depends, because it could jump up as well as jump down, but again, what's the best high yield saving account out there? There's not one that's going to make you feel better about still having a mortgage. There's not one. It doesn't exist. And so, but you guys are married. You have to work that out amongst yourselves. So communicate, compromise, and maybe he'll just let you do it. But if you can't communicate or compromise, then you need counseling. for that. And so, but hopefully you can suggest back that I really, really want this gone, and I think that'll be better. And then when that's gone, hey, guess what we can do with the money that we were previously paying on the mortgage? We can put that in a high yield savings account. Crazy. So, but the whole thing of it's so tempting to write that check and be done with it. How do you have $178,000 laying around now? I mean, must be some kind of your plan. Maybe that was a husband's suggestion too. I don't know. Or you came up with that. But there's nowhere on the baby steps where it says save up $178,000 while you still owe on your mortgage. The only time you would save up $178,000 for anything, would be maybe on a down payment on step 3B. Or the only other time is in step 7 after you paid your house off, and then you can do anything you want except go down into a lower baby step, except for, of course, 3B if you decide to upgrade in house. So I don't know how, you didn't explain where that money is. So where's that money? Is that in a high yield savings account? I mean, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be that they actually don't have the money. They haven't saved that money. I don't know. But since she says it's so tempting to write the check, I'm assuming they have the ability to do it. And they're just debt leveraging by keeping the mortgage around while they have extra savings. And so that would, of course, be doing it wrong. So, I mean, almost always the answer is right here in the baby steps. It's not as precious as you think your own situation is. It's not as complicated as you think your situation is. Try to pretend that somebody else, like your friend or family member, has the same situation as you, and then try to fit it in after. Try to divorce yourself from your own little situation and look at the baby steps and then apply that to that situation, not putting in any of your personal stuff to it. Try to look at it like that, because a lot of people get lost and they get blinders on because they are in the middle of their own situation, and of course they think it's a lot more precious than it actually is. Alrighty. I'll be back again tomorrow, Saturdays and Sundays, answering your financial questions, 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and youtube.com/coachstevemoney. You scroll down on here for my financial content, answering your financial questions playlist, and the Ramsey Show After Show playlist, and the music playlist, including the How to Do the Baby Steps Right song, the newest one, and probably my best video. It's a lyric video for it is You Belong Debt Free. You belong debt free. Oh, let's see if Jules... I think Jules might ask a question. All right. Boom, boom, boom. I'm talking about Creole. And PTO. And pensions. All right. What up, Sid? Alrighty. Thanks so much for watching. Anybody watching live right now, and anybody that will be watching later. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coach consultation at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com if you have any questions about coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App, $CoachSteveMoney. All right, Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, of course, the stream answering your financial questions with Coach Steve Money. That's me. That's Saturdays and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll be back tomorrow on that. The Ramsey Show After Show through at least the month of September. That's going to be Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And also putting up Ramsey Show Chat Refugee streams Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. That is when the Ramsey Show puts their last radio hour, which is about 40 some minutes. They put that on their network app, and it's no longer on YouTube. So that's when I start the after show and the Chat Refugee streams as well. And I'm going to try to always have some content on there, probably normally playing a video game, but we'll see what I can come up with. And so that's basically all week. The streams all week for me, right after the Ramsey Show video and on YouTube. Alrighty, again, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and of course, make smart financial decisions every day.